and vastly expanding the arts offering and the participation of the broader community in the arts in Stamford. Is that 25 seconds?
Way to go, Dwayne. Thank you for getting us off to a good start. Celeste?
Good afternoon. We had a lively conversation, and we were arguing till the very end, but we decided to throw up first that the business climate will make or break the vitality of Stamford's future if we, to coin a phrase from Anton, don't cut the friction, unquote. So what we want to do is we want to find a reason to make people choose here to start their businesses and to make it as easy as possible for them to do so.
Okay.
So our top idea basically has to do with the building we're in, UConn, doing everything we can to enable it to evolve into the anchor of innovation and arts and activity that it could be in downtown, a true university. And I want to follow that up by saying that we have somebody at our table who's willing to be kind of the hub of people in the room who want to get around that idea and kind of carry it forward and implement it. Jeff Greenberg, and he's here so folks who are interested in that idea, which I know has come up many times, kind of focus in on him.
Great. Table 7? I'm sorry, Sandy. Table 3. Go right ahead. Eileen?
Yes, our first idea was following very much on what this other table just said, as that instead of worrying about how to get around the problem of the university and stores and all that we know, these politics, is that we need to set up an independent think tank in this city. It could be based on finance, it could be based on urban studies, it could be based on environmental issues, but we need an intellectual center here, and it doesn't have to be associated. It should be separate from the university, so good that the university will want to be part of it.
Thank you.
One of our focuses was on green industries, and we think that the city ought to come together to designate certain areas for green development. For instance, the transitway area, which is an area that hasn't yet been developed. And green industries would be attracted to put their products and businesses in that area. One of the ways we would do this is through a Green Development Council, and we would create also a green sister city relationship with another city in Europe or Australia or somewhere else in the world that would we would learn from. Thank you.
Thank you. How about Table 1?
So we started off by talking about diversity and the importance of diversity based on our panel's discussion. So what we thought would be a worthwhile endeavor would be to try to understand through research what industries we can identify that we can attract here to Stamford to create the economic diversity that matches our cultural and ethnic diversity. Because at the top of the ladder, we are less culturally diverse than we are in the low and moderate income.
Julia? How about Table 8? Have we heard from yet? Joel?
Our first idea was to create a green bank, and the green bank would be a local bank that would collect deposits from residents in Stamford. It would have a general commercial activity, but would be tasked with doing several other things, namely providing loans to companies that were involved in the business of creating sustainable energy, local food production, helping citizens to put in solar cells and finance that. So that was our first idea.
Thank you, Joel. Patricia?
We really focused a lot on communication and education outside of the institutions. A real thorough communications hub or database that not only connects the different cultures in the community, it translates everything so everyone has access. It creates sources, a list of resources for almost everything, including the micro angel investment type thing, under $1 million, or I need $10,000, as well as how to leverage your idea and get it off the ground and start a business. But we need to pull everything together and have a really thorough, robust communications hub.
Thanks, Patricia. Barbara and Bob Karp's table.
Need my glasses. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Bill promised me coffee and cookies, and here I am giving a public presentation. All right. We've got 3 ideas, all of them very biased, I guess, to my background, which is entrepreneurial. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, and we're going to take your first one first and hold on to your second, too?
We already got names, a business plan, and if there's funders in the room, we've got an evaluation.
Then you certainly deserve coffee and cookies.
Okay. I got to validate that I was here for my wife, too, so let me take a picture. All right, the first one is called the Entrepreneurial Enterprise Zone, or EEZ. And what this is going to be government local back. It would be an area where we would be essentially working with suppliers in terms of getting favorable rates on rent and other related. It would be an area to work with interns. It would be an area to work with both local capital and outside capital. I'm not used to doing short presentations, so I'll just end that one. The second one is another variation.
Hold.
Oh, just one? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Robin and Phil and Rick's table. Rick?
We're a little more grassroots in terms of trying to build on the people that we have and trying to get more jobs and trying to organize some of the jobs that were there. So we were thinking through energy audits and how we could empower micro enterprises to build on that energy audit so that they could do their own business plans, et cetera, and grow that business and link that also in terms of the city, in terms of Yukon, and learned about Austin, Texas, and where could we learn that we could start that to grow more jobs from that for coursework, et cetera.
Thanks, sir. Table all the way in the back in the corner.
Hi, I hate these things. We talked about the quality of life, and the quality of life, is that better? And the quality of life is very much affected by the contribution the arts have to our community. Okay.
Yes.
The contribution the arts make to our community. And it was pointed out that we do not have an arts council anymore. So that to revive an enterprise, which is the Arts Council, to promote the arts as they are in the city, foster ideas and bring artists together and into the community in spaces perhaps that are unused now, that could be used for the arts, but to enhance our quality of life so those other creative enterprises, business enterprises, want to be here too, because after you've done business, you still want something for your soul.
Thank
so that
you.
are the arts.
Table over here in this corner.
Okay. We have Project Discovery, which we're going to start a joint venture discovery with SPEF, the Stamford Public Education Foundation, on how to fund this. It's to teach risk-taking and resiliency to kids. It's a series of grassroots after-school programs, and it involves parents as well. There will be programs in the arts, music, STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and math, so the uninitiated, and social studies. We'd like to headquarter it either in the Palace Theater or in the Old Town Hall, along with the Arts Council.
Thanks, Ted. Table 16.